Greetings guys, back in Sydney, and tonight we've been invited to the Sydney Opera House for the opening night of the new Andrew Lloyd Webber production. There is a revival of Sunset Boulevard thanks to Opera Australia. Now it stars the wondrous Sarah Brightman and also Tim Draxl and Ashleigh Rubenach. We're just about to head in and check this out. Hopefully you enjoy the footage in the meantime, and I'll be back after this to let you know my thoughts on the production and to give you a review of the show. Talk to you soon.
Another dinner. Do you want to see it? No. I have a niece. I have a niece who thing meets every day. Double check.
Aren't you Norma Desmond? You used to be in pictures. You used to be big.
I am big. It's the pictures that got small. Everything's as if we never said goodbye. I can control all the things I'm feeling. We're floating in midair. If we are fools, well, we're too much in love to care. Sunset Boulevard, ruthless Boulevard, destination full of stony-hearted. Sunset Boulevard, lethal Boulevard, everyone's forgotten how they started. They run Sunset Boulevard. I'm coming out of makeup. The light's already burning. Not long until the cameras will start turning. We'll have a morning madness. We'll have magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. Yes, everything's as if we'll never said goodbye. We
Greetings once again, guys. Just got out of the opening night of the brand new production playing at the Sydney Opera House, and that is Sunset Boulevard. Of course, it's composed by the legend Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber, and it stars some wonderful performers, including the likes of Sarah Brightman, Tim Draxl and Ashleigh Rubenach. Now, this production is based off the 1950 film that starred Gloria Swanson and William Holden, and it was nominated for multiple Oscar awards, and even did get an Oscar, I'm pretty sure, for Best Score. Positives of this production, really, the amazing Andrew Lloyd Webber score. It is haunting, and it is better than the cinematic score. Let me just say that. It is a wonderful piece of music, and it really kind of does drive the narrative of this production. It's just worth the price of admission for that. Also, some fabulous staging in this production. Just the ornate details in this glorious mansion that's on stage, which belongs to the former great silent film star Norma Desmond, who's played by Sarah Brightman. And just the attention to detail, even though it's such a gloomy manner that's kind of falling apart, just the opulence of it is just fantastic to watch. And some of these stage transitions in this show are completely amazing. Also, I have to pay credit to those scenes with that Paramount Studios lot in this production. I have been there myself, and I just was amazed at the attention to detail with just getting those little elements to make it like the Paramount Studios lot, including the Bronson Gate and just some backstage kind of elements. I thought it was really fantastic. As far as performances go, it is an interesting kind of musical. Very much the dialogue is sung for the majority of this performance. Now, it's not quite in the same way that Phantom is done. Phantom, that kind of really works well. In this production, I have my doubts. It kind of does make the audience, well, personally for me, it feels a bit difficult to kind of grasp the details. And if I didn't have that prior knowledge of the 1950 film directed by Billy Wilder, I don't know if I would grasp all those little elements to this production and to the story. And that's just by virtue of some of the phrasing that's done with the dialogue with the musical. There are some amazing songs in this production, namely As If We Never Said Goodbye. That is the highlight, and performed by Sarah Brightman. That is one hell of an experience. Also, the other lead song is called Sunset Boulevard, and that's sung by Tim Draxl. That is quite a fabulous number as well. But they're the two real major songs in this, and I think this production could do with a few more, just to kind of give it that level of gravitas that it needs to, considering the subject material involved in this. But really, it does tell a story of this fading silent film star who wants to get her glory back, and she encounters this down on his luck failed writer, and it's about their relationship and how he essentially becomes a kept man, and the story unravels from there. But Tim Draxl does a really fantastic job. Considering the original production in Australia, I believe sometime in the 90s, it was played by Hugh Jackman. Big shoes to fill, but Tim Draxl, he does a really good job, and he kind of really does stitch a lot of this production together. Another highlight is the wonderful performance of Ashleigh Rubenach as Betty. She is fabulous in it, but I would say she's probably not in it enough, and that's just by virtue of the script. She's not in much of it in the movie either, but when she is on stage, she's stunning, fabulous, and she really does draw the eye, so I think it's a really fantastic performance by her. As far as Sarah Brightman goes, it is very interesting from her. They do lean very heavily in to her operatic strengths, which is an interesting creative choice, considering this was a musical that was originally played in, I believe, on Broadway, but in LA as well, by Glenn Close so many years ago now. She was probably the standard, and she originated that role. And with her performance, there is so many nuances to it, as in there's those highs and lows, and she kind of really does play with the humour involved with that. Sarah Brightman's performance, it kind of does feel a bit more of a neutral style, and that's a lot to do with the fact that it's leaning into those operatic moments, and I don't think it has those highs and lows with humour in it, because, you know, her operatic kind of soprano elements that she kind of uses in this show, it's not a strength of things like, you know, comedic moments and that sort of thing. So I would have to say it is an interesting creative choice that they've made in certain elements of her performance, but every time she's on stage, she draws the eye, and it's quite amazing how Sarah Brightman does that, considering some sections of this show, there's a lot of action on stage, and you still are drawn to her presence, and that's saying a lot and giving a lot of credit to her. Alternate Nights also features Silvie Paladino, and I think that's worthwhile checking out as well if you happen to see both. I think you're doing really well. But yeah, it is a worthwhile production to kind of see. There is some narrative issues, I will say that. The first act is a lot of setup, and then the second act, there's all the action that kind of takes place, which is kind of a bit of a reverse thing. Usually I find a lot of musicals, the second act is a little bit weaker than the first. This one, it's the reverse. It's the second act is the stronger point, and that's where the big headlining songs are as well. But really, I do recommend this show. Definitely check it out. There is some kind of interesting creative choices in it that I probably wouldn't have made myself, but it is definitely worthwhile seeing it, just for the fact of seeing Sarah Brightman at the Opera House in a Andrew Lloyd Webber production. That's something kind of magic that you won't see very often. She hasn't done musical theatre in quite some time, so definitely check it out for that, and keep your eye out for Tim Draxl and Ashleigh Rubenach. But aside from that, I'm about to head off. Hopefully you enjoy the footage from this evening, and I'll catch you at the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on the next video, and also make sure you leave a comment to say hello and let us know what you thought of the show. But aside from that, I'm Adrian Kmita, and I'll catch you guys at the next one.